the virtual psychological war through all his sponsored mushrooms of social medias. We defeat them all as well. I will explain on this next time, but now that he lost on both battles, both on the ground and the virtual, the noise that you hear is to distract you, for them to get attention, to empower them, to project fear and pain, to make you weak. Pay attention. Otherwise, they lost that battle. But if you don't pay attention, if you go to their direction, will bring us back to ground zero and they will win. That's why we are focusing and attacking the image, because the enemy is trying to back up and secure its position by using the image and weakening Tigray people. Like I say, whether on the ground face-to-face in Tigray or the global invisible virtual war, he lost it big time. To those who don't understand, this is your victory. But unless you protect what you have secured, if you have a leakage, a weakness on one side, you will be useless. People are sacrificing in Tigray. People are working beyond the duty of the call. Will be ineffective. So be wise, pay attention, and do your own role to stop the war. And to change the situation. Therefore, the enemy is devastated and desperate. Here comes a time to test for the people of Tigray and Eritreans whether they are going to remain loyal as people of integrity, or they will betray their own people for selfish, temporary gain, obviously the dirty money. Through those people who speak Tigrinya, not necessarily Tigrayan people. They could be Tigrayan people. They could be also Eritrean people. So this is also time of test to see who is going to be against you and who is with you. This, by the way, is what the enemy, through the media and through physical attack, abuse, and killing in Tigray, is a revenge to prove in response to we deliver a message saying the Tigrayan people, like I say, have a noble character, who doesn't have accept or who don't accept conformity. Indeed, that's what the Tigrayan peoples are. Individuals can fall into dark when they focus into themselves, for they are selfish, who thinks only themselves, and sell their soul by harming our people to gain the payroll from our enemies in exchange for their service, to cause a harm to our people. But the majority of the Tigrayan people, they remain noble. They refuse to conform. They stand firm. And that's how you win a battle. But if we work hard and be effective to be a good team, we will prevent a lot of life being lost. That's the number one you have to pay attention. Be a good team. So the criminals, mercenary in Tigray, only win one thing. That's crime. Committing crime, big time. That's the only thing they are good at, as a result of revenge. They are vengeance because they can't have their way. They can't win. They couldn't win. People at Tigray and TPLF are sacrificing their lives. Those are our heroes who taught us how to win in the battle with all the wisdom, discernment, prayers, and capability. And those of us who are marching with TPLF, when we say TPLF, we have your back, we are a person who mean what we say, and we say what we mean. To all the Tigrayan people, remember the ball is in your court, and protect and secure it, to hold on, not to surrender your ground, not to surrender your media, any resource for the enemy to have the upper hand, to use it, exploit you, and attack you. Don't give it a chance. When you see something wrong, say it as it is, it's wrong. Don't go through the bushes. Don't go behind the back. Or don't pretend as if it doesn't exist. If there is a wrong, unless we change it, it will affect. Simple. It's not because I'm judgmental, I say this and that. But that's what the reality is. If we're going to fight and we expect a different result, the one that's not helping us to be effective has to be changed. To become effective. So never ever doubt that. The ball is in your court. Just connect to your power source, plug into your dunamis, and apply a dose of wisdom and discernment. That is the prescription you needed most right now. Never forget that. This battle will be won, but you don't see it clearly how to shorten the misery and stop the life that is being lost. Life is precious and it's irreversible. So there is a time sensitivity. And also to be sensitive. If somebody you allow it and you give it a chance where you see it is wrong and to expose our vulnerable people to die one way or the other, is wrong. You have to rush to stop these things from happening. To wrap up my message, TMH is ineffective. Sometimes the message doesn't really adhere to the standard of the quality the people in Meghalaya is, how they use it. There's lots of really it sucks. Some of the content is really, it's really it needs to change because it doesn't serve. If it is just to fill an airtime, that's different. But when there is a war, everything is blocked. The only source, the only means, the only hope can be this medium, but fail to do, to impact, to change. That sucks. That's the resource is not used to what it should have been used appropriately. It could have made a difference. And to see it become the enemy's platform. I don't know if people have believed maybe the leaders in Tigray have no chance anymore. I don't know if people are playing a joker in one way here, and when things change they fickle, even though we don't understand the whole situation. But this is a test of time. The image has been tested. Imagine in a household, the head is being held or being limited, and the rest of the members to operate, to function that household, to continue in the absence of the head. In that time when they fail, you could tell who is doing really winning all these things despite all the challenge, while we have all the opportunity, all the safety, the security, the resources. But we fail. This is a time not to be denied and be hypocrite, but to see where we are. It's very clear. We haven't done our own homework. We haven't checked where our weaknesses are. We have to face those things before we go and meet our enemies. We have a lot to go. That's a good opportunity to see also where we are. But unless we correct it, we will be to our own fault. It's a disappointing also. After we watch what we have been entertained these days with the new, I would say, con artists, people with a mask, what they say and what they are doing, their motives is different. I hereby take this action to expose the enemy's work at TMH, I would say. If this is wrong, then ignore my message and I can be stand corrected. But this is a concern for the last 2 weeks. And it's my responsibility to protect the mind and the future of the Tigray people by not ignoring such a dangerous subtle move of the enemy landed at the MH indirectly, which is bait to manipulate the innocent Tigrayan people's feelings and emotion in order to deceive you and defeat you. It's blocking the leaders, no communication, you cannot hear what the right thing to do. You think you don't know their existence, maybe people might be afraid. And you couldn't stand for yourself and to say no and to be empowered instead of giving away your power. This is a time of test. So we have to say this is wrong. That's why we are taking the time. Otherwise, it's not to create any negative energy. Lots of negative energy is going on, that's enough, but if we cover up the truths, it will not help us, and it doesn't help anybody. So we don't ignore it this time, because the enemy is involved. You see, your enemies never rest or sleep until they get you to divide and conquer you. That would only be effective if they use your own people, because that is your weak spot. What you see is what is in front of you. You don't see the underneath motive. What's in front of you is a person who is he or she who speaks Tigrinya, a person with whom you identify yourself with, someone who holds or wears your flag or play your music these days deliberately. But itself is a good thing. There's nothing wrong. It becomes a weakness when the enemy is using it against you and you go for it, and you will be exploited. To see the interesting TMH scripted program or drama is personally a confirmation that TMH is hijacked by the enemy to serve the enemy, or I don't know if the leaders has changed a gear and we are going in a different direction. So it needs prompt action if the enemy is involving. It is not the one. This is not my responsibility. It's other people's responsibility. But this is my opinion. If the information is not correct, ignore it. It's not the war in Tigray that makes us ineffective lately. It's the undefined nature of the image. Or maybe I'm the only one that who doesn't understand that. And again, if that's the case, ignore this message. So please don't slow us down because of a certain situation we are being holding the last 3 weeks. What we have developed, what we have come up, a solution. Because our content is being used to attack our people. We are start questioning also credentiality. So we rather hold than for our works to be used against the people of Tigray or against anybody. Time is a crunch and time is sensitive. We have lots to do. Unless we work together as a team, this will be our extra work. So please, wherever there is a need, as a communicate to be on the same page. Again, I would say TMH lacks effectiveness. We are more than willing to give capacity building, training, or to show a better way of using the platform, and to show what you haven't seen, and to direct you on the right path to be more effective, to give a better service. We have tried to reach you. You are inaccessible. One of the greatest weaknesses of the Tigrayan community that have been encountered is being inaccessible. An email and having an email and a phone is very important to contact you. So this is also a lack of a limitation. This is also another homework. So being equipped is in all aspects. You have a resource, even to use that resource in these very challenging moments, not to reach you easily or being inaccessible, or your phone numbers might be not the right one, not the correct one. And in a lot of cases, a phone or email is not available, or an email is not responding. That is also a gap, at least to give a feedback. This is also another challenge we have. So it's sad but true, the war in Tigray could have been avoided if that media tool had been used appropriately and effectively. This is not to give people responsibility or to discredit them. We appreciate what you're doing, but you could do more. With a little bit of help, maybe, and with a good communication and feedback is very important. See, what counts is what you do today with it, with the resource you have, with the media. The diaspora community, this is your opportunity. Support, consult where the gap is. That tool can save many people's lives in Tigray. Don't just waste it or watch it. Dare to use it to in case somebody to approach and betray our people and to cause harm. If you see it and ignore it, that's wrong. that is leaving the people of Tigray in danger, to harm. If you want to stop the war in Tigray, do what it takes. Work on your weakness. Be equipped. Have the energy. Have the diligence. This is required. And this is an opportunity. An opportunity doesn't always be there. Unless we use this opportunity, with a blink of the eye, it can be gone. We use opportunity while it's still there. This is an opportunity to save people's lives. It's in doing, not talking. It's the action that moves and changes things. And MH can shine. If you a little bit adjust things and alter and build the capacity and have the tenacity, have the energy to fight with your own terms and with your own condition. Don't repeat what the report of what other medias. Come up with a situation, be creative, connect with people's heart, resonate. 2020, you were not effective. You have a new day now to compensate the people of Tigray by being effective.